Internet, this is Lord Mad Dog, and we are coming at you with another build, a new build. The object of this build is to build a giant object that, well, a mothership with multiple arms and legs, well, multiple arms that have the ability to wipe out entire sections of the enemy. So here I am. I have this prefab shape that I have from doing other stuff. I think it was from the... Oh, yes. It was from The World's End, the build I made. This was a piece off of it. So I just go ahead and I'm repurposing it here. You can see. This will be the general shape of the mothership. This is what I'm doing right here. Now, I also noticed that these could be turned into... number 4 pieces, so I'm going to go do that real quick. Just quickly make it all number 4 pieces. That way there's a little bit more defensive. And yeah, that's what I am doing here real quick. I'm going to skip a little bit forward because you don't need to see me do this. I have to do it a little bit more. Okay, so with that done, I am now putting it in the bottom of this shape. Just quickly shaping it out, making it all pretty. And I do change this shape a little bit later on right now because it's a little bit too wide. But right now I'm going to go ahead and add in the thrusters. That's what I'm doing right off the bat. I figure out where I'm going to throw up my thrusters and where I'm going to put them. I'm also blocking in the sides here so it makes it look a little bit nicer. Yeah. There we go. Put that there. Hopefully you can understand and see exactly what I am doing here. I am just putting in the thrusters, and basically there's the basic shape of that. And we're going to call this endgame, because that's the whole object of this build, is to be the endgame. Now, I have jumped forward a bit. I have put in most of the actual thrusters here, and now I'm actually just going to put in some more thrusters, the front and the back. I've already put in the side ones. As you can see, there's 2 in the front, 2 in the back for side, which will give me a very good ability to turn almost on the dime with heavy thrusters. Here I'm just going to go ahead and map out the front and the back using forward and backwards propulsion systems. Okay, one thing you want to make sure is you want to make sure that you do not have too many propulsions in the front, because if you have too many propulsions in the front, even if they're smaller, if you have more propulsions in the front, you'll continuously get this message about, are you building your ship backwards? Because most of your propulsion is facing backwards. So it doesn't matter if you have 2 big thrusters in the back and only like 3 small thrusters in the front. It'll still tell you that because, well, you have 3 is to 2. It's super annoying, and it will not go away. At least I haven't figured out how to turn off the hints. So I've always tried to make sure that when I build things, I won't have them little hints. Though a few of my designs, like Tanky, I think it was Tanky, who did not have his engines put to the outside, continuously had that annoying thing there. Okay, now with the end game basic shape made out, we're going to go ahead and make out the basic shapes of, well, no, actually here, that's right, here I decide to go ahead and, because this is a little bit oblong, long-wise, and I wanted to make it more saucer shaped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to cut it in half so we can make it, yeah, right there, that's good. We're going to go ahead and copy this, and start to build a new one. Yeah, destroy all. Build a brand new ship. It basically is the same ship, but new. What this does is it means that this ship is, as you can see, now it's more more of a rounded shape. It's not quite as big as it was. Before, it was a nice shape, but it just wasn't what we needed for only having 2K. It was too much volume used in the actual making of the ship. So I had to cut a decent amount of volume out. And here I'm once again replacing the thrusters in. Jump a little bit forward. Hey, now I'm placing in the propulsion, the engine systems and the battery systems. Basically, I think it's 4 Yeah, it was just four. It was four giant RTGs, giant RTGs, and three medium size. Right here, I just went ahead and grabbed my LAU script that I use here for all my hovercrafts. Yes, I use LAU for hovercraft. I do not use PID because I found that LAU is far more substantial. Even if it's very hard to tip over a LAU hovercraft ship, where if you bump a PID just right, or not even just right, you bump one like we did the Lux Eterna, if you remember that, we flipped it right over. If that would have happened to a LAU script one, probably the Lux Eterna would not have flipped over if it would have been run by LUA. All right, now with that done, as you can see there, it is over there floating by itself, all powered, all good and go. Now we're going to go ahead and make out the blade. This is going to be one of the appendages for the, it's going to be a drone system. It's going to be one of the appendages for it. So I know the exact how many size I need total here. So I was just trying to make sure I got the right size. Now, these things won't have any actual armor because I'm hoping they won't really be targeted much. But there's also going to be multiple of them, so they shouldn't be targeted all that much. There we go. I'm just making sure I got the decent amount of size because this is going to be a gigantic laser like so. And the battery powers are going to power it. And I'm going to get the power from a power ship like I have been doing with my other stuff. And so I'm just building out the little bit of a laser ship here. Yep. Mocking out the size, making it look nice. I'm going to jump just a tad bit forward here because it's slightly boring. And without the face cam, you can't see my actions and what I'm talking about anyway. So you can see what I am really doing though. And I think most of you guys probably come more when you watch these videos. You do like to see a little bit of the building, but you like more of the demonstrations of the builds. From what well, at least that's my assumption. If that's not true, tell me in the comments. That way I know if to speed up or slow down the building and what is interesting to you more or less. And that's basic shape. I'm going to work with the front a little bit more later. Right now I'm just trying to get more of the actual size. I'm trying to figure out how long I want it and where I'm going to want it to be. There we go. Just taking it like this. There. Now we've got the good size. Then we're going to put all the big batteries in here. Now we're going to go ahead and actually build the laser system. Oops, need more of this here. And yeah, I'm going to put down the combiner here because this is what I want to see exactly what it takes to. Nope, that's too many. I'm getting right there and bring it all the way out. It's going to be a 2-beam laser system, and then I'm also going to build a gun version of this laser. But this is also getting slightly boring, so I'm going to jump a bit forward as I continue to mock out the shapes of this. Ooh, yes, I forgot about that. It looks like some type of puppet at this point. Yeah, it really does look like some type of puppet. But I try to make the bottom a little bit more substantial later on. So here we'll be doing the actual laser. And at this point, I am using all just these things. Yeah, I forget what they're called. Pumps. Just pumps and captivities. However, I do go ahead and I do get some, put some storage ones in there later on. Yes, many storage in there later on. I think I have a total of 19 storage replacing that entire area. That way, when they're punch lasers, so they take a while to build up, but once they are built up, they become super powerful, instantaneous punch weapons. They can do I think, yeah, it's about 80k damage total in one shot. So you can shoot straight through an entire ship with one shot if you let it build up. And that's the object. You pause the game, you zoom into where you're at, or if you had a good AI, that's how you would play that. If you had a good AI, you'd make a detection system and you would make it so it would aim at the specific points and specific places, or an LAU script. Now those are really good for one-punch lasers. There's a few LAU scripts out there, I think, that can prioritize what we want to shoot at, which makes a big difference. What I did there is I copied the back, what I had worked out, and I decided I'm going to make this much longer. And then I'm going to go ahead, once I make it much longer, I've also decided I want this to be a little bit using 4K, four blocks instead of just 3 like I was, which is better in the long run, more life. There we go. I'm going to jump a little bit forward as I go ahead and bring this all the way out. Here I've gone ahead and now I've got the whole laser system marked out in the back. As you can see here, I'll see if I can pause it when it comes up to the actual damage on this thing. But I think it's only 4K damage. That's continuous pulse damage though at this point. Yeah, and I don't need that. I'm gonna skip forward. I think we're pretty much done with this one. Yeah, okay, so we have 4,359 continuous pulse damage, which is awesome, but it's not enough because I found a lot of things actually have a lot of smoke, and if you are fighting an enemy with a smoke, you want to, without a doubt, one-shot them. You want to shoot their most vital components in one shot. So, because otherwise they'll release the smoke and your lasers become worthless. Because for me, I don't know if it's a bug, but I've also heard other people complain about it. A lot of people say that wavefront adjusters just don't work. They're busted. At least for me, I know they're busted. So I'm also reworking the front end here. I'm going to jump a little bit forward because I do design this about 3 times while I'm recording. There, the full front has been redesigned. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the shields for this work. As you see, the front is much better looking now. And I'm just laying out the shields. But I don't think you want to see me put in the shields unless you've never actually seen someone put in shields. It's just as simple as placing them in the best position you can possibly think and then using the turning to where your advantage. I never really do double shields because I think that's really kind of exploiting. Shields in of themselves are quite powerful. However, a lot of people say that shields really need nerf. However, I don't quite believe that to be true. I think stacking of shields should not be possible because that is, like I said, way overpowered. But I do not believe that shields in themselves should be nerfed, because if they were nerfed in any shape, way, or form, ASP would instantly become the most powerful weapons in the game, because advanced cannons, not ASP, but advanced projectile systems, that's what ASP stands for. So here I've gone ahead and just named it, and I've got it all marked out for shields. I was saying, if they nerf shields in any shape, way, or form, advanced cannons will instantly become the king of all weapons, and there'll be nothing you can do to stop them. It's just ridiculous how powerful advanced cannons can be without shields. But with shields, they can actually almost be worthless. So it's you know... But that's because the people stack shields, and it really does... Yeah, it's kind of cheating, like I said. Alright, so with this one basically maxed out, you see now I just went ahead and I put a docking port on this, so that will make it where it docks to where I want it to dock when I bring it in here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and build the docking port system right now in here. So I'm going to go ahead and map out. I was going to have it on a turret, but I decided it was better to have it on a spin block, because I wanted to go for a nice octopus-like look and I wanted it to spin. However, later on I figure out that you can't really have it to spin, because any spinning at all makes it undock. It's kind of disappointing. It's actually really disappointing. Also, having it on a turret, now that I think about it, probably wouldn't have worked very well either, because it would done dock as well. And with this, because I could not find a way to have shooting power, shooting control by LUA or anything. So what I end up doing is I end up using light blocks to bring the ship actually into the mothership, and putting a fire control right beside where the rambot sits. So right there, this is there, right there. And that's basically how I'm going to do with every single one of these. And here I try out the spinning of it. I said it does not work because it won't go below 3 spinning. But as soon as you go that, all of a sudden you get this. And that's not what I want. Not at all. It's way too fast. I wanted to be much, much, much slower, but I couldn't get it any slower than 4 for some odd reason. And when I do that, it makes it impossible to actually use in any shape, way, or form. Kind of very, very disappointing. It still looks cool. Now let's go ahead and jump forward as I stop messing with this. I now went ahead and added the 3 laser arms. This is the basic shape of what that's going to be. And now I'm going to go ahead and work on building the power vehicle. I'm just going to skip most of this because it's just basically adding RTGs to a giant block, honestly. That's really what ends up being. Right there, I've had that cap and reshaping it, and yeah, I'm going to skip that. Most of it here. I've got most of it all marked out right there. This is somewhat the shape I was going to go for. It's not the end shape I end up going with. And a little bit more of the shape I end up going with here is what I'm working on now. But I wanted to have one on the top and one on the bottom of my design. However, because I cannot get my when I pull the thing pull it out of play, it will not on the map go higher than 0 meters at all. It's stuck to the ground, period. No matter what I do, it's stuck to the ground, even though most of the designs can actually go up to 23 meters because the ground is 23 meters in the air. So I don't know. I could not put one underneath it. I wanted to have a floating aerial ship, but it ends up being more of a hovercraft, which is fine. It's actually pretty neat as a hovercraft. So like I said, I'm going to skip the building of this here. I'm putting a little bit at the bottom, and I think that's pretty much it for it. Yeah. And that's the way it looks right now. It's pretty much, as you can see, it's pretty neat looking design, little of the ship. Here, I'm going to put a little pyramid top on, but I'm going to skip that as well. There's the little pyramid top, kind of a little like a hat on it. I really like the hat look. And now I'm going to go ahead and redo this. I've gutted it, and now I'm going to go ahead and put a giant cannon in it. I was right here, I wanted to, because I knew I was going to need a 3-meter mantle, which there's a way to do this 3-meter mantle, but I decided it wouldn't do with it at this point. I'm going to see if I could make a 1-meter mantle work out, so I do not use this here. But I eventually do end up actually doing this, putting it in there and having to go up one to actually use the railgun system. Now, the reason why I'm using a railgun system, even though this is going to be a massive flak cannon, even though I think it actually, I may in the end, well, no, in the end I'm going to use the actual railguns, because I want this flak to have as much possible damage as possible for an area, but I also want the flak to be a little bit farther away from me when I shoot it. I don't want to shoot it point blank, because if you shoot flak point blank, you do a lot of damage to yourself. And to get flak to move, to get flak farther away from me, I have to use a railgun system, because otherwise it ends up being way too close, because the more flak you have, the slower the projectile. It's a very heavy, slow-moving projectile. Here I am placing in the. This is going to be a clipless system. It's all going to be just what is it? Autoloaders, which works out actually really well. But I've also got to make sure that they have enough room for the ammo feeders here. As I'm making sure there's the space for 2 ammo feeders in between each. And that means so each one can have its own ammo feeder. And it actually ends up working out pretty well. I can shoot like 20 shots in one really fast barrage, and that can pretty much decimate an entire field. With that much damage, I can knock off almost heavy armor blocks. Sometimes it seems to actually knock off 4-piece heavy armor blocks. Other times it doesn't seem to do much damage, and other times flak seems to be an inconsistency. Is if you've watched my heavy bombers, they can do amazing damage, and sometimes they can't do any damage at all. I don't know how it works. I just know it works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. But the times it does work, it's awesome. So that's what I'm capitalizing on that. And that is the basic of the blunt gun blade that we're going to use for this system. Here I'm going to go ahead and develop my my bullet here. I want to make sure I get the right amount of bullets. I'm trying to remember which one it is. I thought it was 7, but I think it put out 6 to begin with, and it actually I think it ends up. I can't remember exactly what number, how many it actually ends up being, because it's just trying to figure out exactly what is which here. And I'm going to skip forward as I've actually figured it out. Oops, I wanted to show you the total flak of it here. Oops, I still missed it. Sorry about that. Wanted to show you the billet. Here we are. Now we're going to go ahead and put in all the flak. There, flak head. Yes, 3,471 damage in a 236 meter area. As you can see, a heavy armor beam, it only has 6,000 life. So 2 of these, if they hit right after each other, can actually take off a heavy armor beam. But it's got to be pretty close too, and sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it doesn't work. The big problem, as I said earlier, is the muzzle velocity is only 49 meters per second. That's why I have to have a rail, because I have to get this thing farther away from my own setup. Otherwise, I can actually destroy my own ship using these things. So that's why I did that. That's why I'm using a railgun. Here, as you can see, I have, and I think with the railgun, my railgun ends up being about 62 meters per second added. So it's not too slow. I mean, it's a 120 meter per second bullet, which is actually pretty good. And here I actually put some actual ammunition right in the side corner there. I figured it's the best place. It has to have ammo on the ship. I cannot remotely give it ammo like I had really wanted to do. It didn't turn out. I've tried that out in the past. You can't really remotely give the ammo like that. You basically have to have at least you have to have at least enough ammo for the bullet to actually be created. And that bullet cost, I think, 750 ammo. And so it's best to be able to make at least 2 at a time. Otherwise, it doesn't work out well. Refining the shape, but I refined the shape later on completely. And I do believe that is more or less everything, except I'm going to go ahead and show you the actually kind of the end shape of what it will look out. Now, that's just the basic design. It is not the end design. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you the end design. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we are. This is the end game. Needs a better name. It really does. Okay. That, as you can see, it looks really neat and really nice. So basically what I tried to go here for a kind of like a Chinese head armor type of thing, you know, the hat, the old Chinese helmet for the build there, because I had to build more of my whatever it's called in there, my RTGs in there. Yes, I'm so sorry about that. Here is the as you can see, the cannon shoots extremely fast. That cannon there will destroy pretty much anything as long as it's in that general area of destruction. This, why does it have that? I've never seen these green arrows point like that before. That's weird. Okay, whatever. So if you know what the green arrows are there, do tell me. Okay, and this is my laser. Let me see what the actual laser is. I want to show you the damage on this thing. Here we go. 83k pulse damage. This is one switch pulse damage. The reason why I went with that is because I decided in the end it was better that way, and I also wanted to put these right here, and I also wanted to have that back there, so there wasn't really a lot of room for the pulse. I could have changed things around a bit, but I decided actually just one pulse damage was better than having two, because otherwise you run through your high damage really, really fast. Now, what I really wanted to do is make it so I can easily turn. I was going to have them spin, and so they would enable me to destroy enemies super easy. You know, if I use one laser like for 3-4 shots, turn, use up all my flak damage, turn, use up all my laser, turn, use up all my flak, turn, use up. That was the whole object, the whole plan of this. You know, really power driving the enemy and just one continuous barrage as I turn. However, like I said, the spin did not turn out, and as I try to turn, I lose control, because the only way I could figure out to control the ships from within my side, the mothership, was to have the fire control come back through light blocks like this. And right there is where the Rambot sits, which works. As you can see, I can shoot. However, this has some massive downsides. If those light blocks are destroyed, what happens is the docking port and the firing port break off on the inside, and somehow they often do a massive amount internal damage to the mothership, which will end up destroying the other docking ports, which ends up causing a chain reaction, and the entire mothership can implode in one brilliantly spectacular physics bug out. It's beautifully horrible, and it makes this design absolutely and totally unusable until I figure out how to make it shoot some other way. But this design is still powerful if those light blocks aren't destroyed. I've tried everything. I've tried not use light blocks. I've tried other things, but because there is no way to control ships with aiming, drones non-LAU aiming, even with LAU, it just didn't turn out to be that I could figure out a way to really reliably do it. It makes it impossible to do the way I really wanted to do with this ship. Not only that, well, it still works. I'll go ahead and show you that. This design actually has quite a few, ends up having quite a few more than just one flaws too. Ah, stupid mother. Oh yeah, here we go. Because, oops, I missed there. But I did, I shouldn't one-shot it. Now here, we're going to launch all those right out there, and it'll do almost all their damaging in. Now, I can also one-shot this ship here. Boom. Ah, come on. There. Took its ship right off. So this thing, it can totally own the enemy. There is no doubt about that. But like I said, it has the flaws that ends up you might get to see it in this demonstration. You may not. You may and may not. There we go, shooting a mass amount of flak. And that caused that thing to flip over. Let's get rid of this little thing here. Boom. Straight through. One shot straight through the entire ship. AI dead. Oh, I thought I already took care of this thing. Yep, there we go. Oh, okay, this guy's upside down. And there we go. And let's take care of this ship as well. Okay, this laser is pretty much used up, so you would turn. Oh, there comes flak. I should have left it to actually keep shooting because I could have hit it more with flak. Oh, it's dead anyway. Okay, that's beautiful. That's also another problem with this build, is the enemies can get way too close to where you can't actually shoot them anymore, and that's really annoying. I can zoom up and back out, but also as I move around, these things will disconnect. But I have taken out massive amount of enemies with it, but there is that one problem of it sometimes being able to be one-shotted, which makes this thing unviable. I will have to figure out some other way to build my end game ship. I really love this design. I think docking ports need some love. They're not quite too par. Drones actually need some love, because I totally see in real life it'd be super easy to put a type of control system in there and allow me to control it. In fact, we have drones that can be controlled remotely, and that would be really nice to be able to remote control these things properly, more than one at a time. The remote control systems in this game totally suck. They do have a remote, but it doesn't work. How I believe the remote system should work is you take that remote control and you would set it beside other control systems which allow you to control those systems. So that would be really neat. So you would have the control. I'll show you what I mean. You would take this right here, the controls, systems, controls, automated, where is it at? Control terminal. This control terminal is supposed to connect and allow you to control other drones remotely. However, how it works, I don't know. I haven't really been able to get it to work, actually. I don't know how it's actually supposed to work. I haven't actually been able to get it to work. But how I would do it, and what I like to see how this would work, is that you'd place this on your ship, your mothership down over here, or any of your ship. Okay. So let's say I stick it down in here while I'm beside my controller, Rambot, wherever he's at in here. This big old mess. G. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, that's right. It isn't going to work that way because I'm on the roof. I can't place this thing anywhere. No, weird, wild. Oh, because I'm not building on the mothership. Duh. Here we go. You would place it like so, and it would automatically then enable you to control anything that, without touching that ship, anything that this thing is set beside. So let's put this here and put one of these here. And then I would put a fire control block right here, and now I would be able to theoretically have control of that fire control block just by sitting next to the control terminal, which would remotely allow me to control this fire control block, which would be awesome, you know? And you could do other really cool things with it, but it doesn't work that way. I think that's how it should work, because otherwise that control block doesn't really work didn't work at all, actually, from what I'm not quite sure how it's supposed to work. I've tried. I think yeah, that's it. You actually have to go to the block, where did I put it? Here. Then you got to actually select it, and yeah. And this little thing stays up while you're there, and it's a super annoying. And it actually locks your controls for the mothership as well, and it just doesn't work. Okay, I'm not enough rant about that useless systems, but that is the end game. I'll go ahead and see if I can spawn in a whole bunch of enemies here. Oh, actually, Lux Eterna for the end of this thing. You will see definitely see the problem that comes with this for sure. Let's go ahead and launch massive amount of flak at the enemy, because this is a typical about 100 end battle. This is about what you'll actually end up being fighting in a 100 battle with these guys, and that's almost every single one of the squares left that I have to take out, or I can actually leave them alone, which I may actually just end up leaving them alone, which would actually be preferable. But you can see this works because it's awesome that it enables you to do this type of stuff. Multiple flak, no need for bombing. And you can see I've already killed quite a few enemies. And we just keep turning. These guys are getting out of range, so let's go ahead and bomb them. Come back here. And here comes the big problem with this. Now I've stopped being able to control myself just because small turning, that can actually ends up being a big deal when turning, not being able to control that way. Woohoo! But it's still beautiful. Now I'm pretty sure you will get to see my entire ship implode by itself, on itself. Oh, they're blowing it up as it shoots out. They can't stop all them bullets, that's for sure, though. Okay, let's go ahead and take out one of these ships, hopefully. There we go. One shot through him. And let's take out the mothership Eterna, if I can. There we go. Hit the laser hitting there. I didn't actually get, yes I did. And let's take out that one. And I need a turn again so I can have the fully recharged bat one for me, usable. Hey, you can't heal the Eterna. I didn't know this thing. This is a ship that we haven't actually fought in a ooh, wow. I died. I'm not sure how the heck I would die. That doesn't make sense. I'm in the very middle of the ship. Oh, did it happen? No, it didn't. Not yet, anyway. There's no way for them to actually hit me. They have grounded me, though, somehow. Oh, because I ran out of energy from shooting too much, I think. That's another problem, is energy. But I wouldn't have that problem in the campaign because I just have another power ship. That's what I was planning to do anyway. Yeah! I'm actually winning this battle pretty handily, I think. At least I don't know how much damage I'm actually taking, though. Now, that's a question I would like to know, if anyone knows the answer to it. When flak cannons are destroyed, no, obviously they did. It did do damage. It did do damage just now. When it got destroyed in midair, it still did damage to him. Ooh, that's cool. Is the Eterna still shooting? No, the Eterna has gone down. The big thing here is, though, I think the amount of cost it would cost to fully repair my ship after a fight like this is also very astronomical, because I didn't make it very sturdy. I don't know. What I should have made armored up my arms a little bit more, I think. But maybe they're not actually taking all that much damage. Actually, I don't think they are. Here we go. We have definitely not fought this thing yet. Well, we just did some good damage to it. This thing has been... I thought... Oh, I have more than one of these things. Okay, that's what's going on. I was going to say, I thought I would have taken care of you. Alright. No, we've actually won this battle. I'm surprised. I mean, we're out of energy. Oh, nope, we're still got more shooting ability. There we go. Let's take that out, actually. Let's actually just shoot straight into his system. Here, yes. Shoot, shoot, shoot. There we go. That is it. We have now taken out all of this thing. No, wait, more in. Still got more. Man, this thing's got a lot of lasers. And it moves super fast, too. What is this thing called? No, 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 no. Come on, shoot it. I want to shoot right there. I can't. My camera's not being able to move fast enough to actually counter its movements, so I'm having a hard time actually shooting it. There we go. I can turn the camera up in the options, but I don't need to. Don't want to right now. There we go. Finally took it out. And yeah, we actually won this fight, more or less. So I'm actually really surprised about that. That's pretty cool. But I'm out of energy, so I'm not being able to actually move. Oh wait, we're hearing a lot of repairs. So I wonder what actually got damaged. Shouldn't be having... Oh, he's the one doing the repairing. Oh, that's cool. Alright, so I hope you have enjoyed this build. Giant octopus build. Even though it didn't turn out as well as I wanted, I still believe I'm going to be able to use some elements from it, and I have learned a lot from it. I think I can use it. I will be putting this ship and all my ships when I finish off the ETO and Ashes of the Empire campaign. It'll be, so I'll put a link to all of my builds. It'll be in a zip file for you to download if you want them once I finish Ashes of the Empire that I've used during the campaign. So, Lord Mad Dog. Oh wait, before I say that, I would like to, if you have liked this thing, I would like to have you likes. I would like to have likes, and I would also like you to subscribe if you like my stuff. All right, so I hope you have enjoyed. Lord Mad Dog, signing off.